Welcome back. Let's bring in California Congressman Devin Nunes. It's great to have you back on, sir. You're the ranking Republican on House Intelligence. Are you now saying that members of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team may have obstructed justice after dozens of their government phones were found to be wiped clean of data, many accidentally, before the DOJ IG could investigate them for potential bias against Trump? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think in addition to that, we have an investigation that's been looking at everything that Mueller's team has been doing or did. And it makes it a little difficult now when you go back, if they don't have a record that's even there, to go back and look at the decisions they were making. And this is only for the first part of when the Mueller team was first stood up. I hope everybody understands that. And thank God for Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton and his group that was able to get these, because DOJ has actually been blocking these from getting out. It makes it a little hard for us to do an investigation when, one, we don't get the information, and two, when you finally do get the information, there's no information there because they wiped their phones. And let's just be clear here, Liz, so people understand. They may claim that it's an accident and claim, well, they were just following the rules. No, I don't know one person, and I run into a lot of people, and if somebody has ever done this, let me know. But 10 times you would have had to reset we'd had to go through and put the wrong password in. 10 times. And one of my staff that actually is very knowledgeable about this actually walked me through the process of how complicated it would be to actually have this accident. So they had this accident on 30 phones. It's just preposterous. It didn't happen.
Congressman, Senate Finance Chair Chuck Grassley wants answers from the Justice Department and the FBI whether this was a widespread intentional effort. Senator Ron Johnson, Chair of Homeland Security, is asking DOJ IG Horowitz to investigate. I think you're saying these phones were wiped after Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were found to have been sending biased anti-Trump text messages. Is that what you're saying? Because the reports are coming in. The government documents show a gap in text messages for Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, what they were texting each other between December 15, 2016 through May 2017. A lot was going on then. The Flynn case was falling apart. The Flynn perjury trap was being discussed behind the scenes at the FBI.
Right.
The FBI's Trump-Russia case was falling apart. A lot was going on in that interim, and that appears no text messages between Strzok and Page for that time period.
And you also have to remember that nearly all of the people that were selected to be on Mueller's team were close Clinton confidants. How that happened, we probably will never get the answer. I'm not sure Mueller is even capable of being able to answer that, because when he was here in Congress just a little over a year ago, he didn't even know what was in his own report. So when I look at that group of lawyers that was put together, and we can also piece together, and this is an important fact that can't be lost on people. They knew there was no evidence of Trump colluding with Russia. And they also knew that the people who had written that dossier had connections to Russia, had done work for Russia, and that probably a lot of the sources could have been compromised. All of those lawyers knew that. The FBI knew that at the time. Those lawyers that came onto the Mueller team had to know that at the time. And I always say, when Mueller walked in the door on day one, he knew they had no evidence, and that's when they just started running an obstruction of justice trap. And I will tell you, and I hope a lot of these lawyers come forward, because the way that they treated lawyers that were representing a lot of the people whose lives were ruined, innocent Americans' lives were ruined by these people. And there was so much misconduct there, whether it's the Flynn case or others, and now you can't even go back and look at the federal records. I mean, look, I guess they learned from Hillary Clinton, their former boss. You can destroy a hard drive and get away with it. Now they've done this and going to get away with it.
Strzok and Page's phones were also wiped clean and sent back to factory settings. They were important members of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server. As you point out, that was about the destruction of federal records, too. Peter Strzok is saying that he regrets sending these texts after the fact. He said it again over the weekend, but he's saying, quote, that these texts have been weaponized against the FBI. Your reaction to Peter Strzok's claim there?
Well, look, this is a guy who never belonged at the FBI and sure as hell didn't belong in counterintelligence. You never use counterintelligence to investigate another political party. He did that. He has to live with that. And it's our job to make sure the American people and everyone around the world knows how disgusting, what disgusting, demented creeps these people were.
All right, Devin Nunes, thank you so much for joining us. Come back soon, okay? Congressman
always,
Nunes
thank
there.
you.
Good to see you.